Everyone thinks that the Raspberry Pi Pico 2 is all about speed. They're wrong, and after months of working with these and testing, I found that the one feature that actually makes the board an essential upgrade, and it has absolutely nothing to do with how fast it runs. Hi, I'm John, your concierge to the world of the Raspberry Pi Pico and embedded tech. When Raspberry Pi dropped the original Pico, it was a game changer for microcontrollers. It was cheap, surprisingly powerful, and the community support was just amazing. Now we have its successor, the Pico 2, launched in August 2023. On paper, the upgrades seem pretty good, and I've talked about them before on the channel. At its core is the RP2350 chip, taking over from the beloved RP2040. This new chip lets you choose between a dual-core ARM Cortex M33 processors or its new twist, the dual RISC-V cores. The clock speed also got a little bump from 133 MHz up to 150 MHz. Naturally, everyone, including us, immediately zoomed in on the speed. How much faster is it really? I've even done a video on that, comparing the speeds. We'll come back to that in a bit. What stopped everyone in their tracks, I think, from jumping onto this new board was the bug. Yes, discovered in 2023. Pulling down a GPIO line using the internal resistor bank stops the GPIO input from working properly. We now have the A4 stepping though, a new version of the Pico 2, and every Pico 2 that you buy should have that A4 stepping RP2350 on it. And that fixes that bug and provides some additional benefits too. So why should you be using the Pico 2 now? Yes, the Pico 2 is faster, and I've proved that before. It's using a Cortex M33 core, which is inherently faster, even if the clock speeds look not that different. In normal integer mass operation workload, a Pico 2 is going to be about twice the speed of a Pico. Though the Pico and its RP2040 are now actually certified at 200 MHz, which reduces that difference a bit. In terms of speed, it's the floating point where the two boards differ significantly. The RP2350 and the Pico 2 have a dedicated floating point unit, and suddenly we're talking about triple the speeds of the Pico. So for a floating point workload, the speed might be the driver to use a Pico 2. Though even with my robot projects, I've not been driven to a Pico 2 due to speed, and they use quite a bit of mass. There are a bunch of new features on the Pico 2 and RP2350, plus extended I/O. Surely these are what are going to drive me to use this as a new board. Well, the Pico 2 in its A4 stepping version is now 5 volts tolerant. That is really handy. We find ourselves faced with lots of peripherals which shout 5 volt signals at us, and being able to plug them in will be great, be that an HC-SR04 range sensor or the encoders on motors. Being able to not need a logic level shifter is really cool. The RP2350 also allows us to expand RAM using PSRAM. That has got me out of trouble recently on a big project. Check out the video here. The Pico 2 though has no PSRAM socket, so this isn't really an upgrade. We do have the hardware-based SHA-256 acceleration, and that's really cool, as an extensive calculation. Though we're mainly going to use this if we're connecting to the internet and doing things like web services. Continuing these security features, there's OTP, one-time programmable memory. And this adds huge value for industrial use cases. We can lock the flash down, stop unauthorized updates or anyone from extracting our code or data. And finally, there is an HSTX, high-speed transmission of data, which could be useful, but it seems to have quite a narrow set of projects in my view. The RP2350 does have more I/O capabilities, though actually these are always curtailed by the Pico 2's form factor. We have an additional bank of PIOs available. This is useful in terms of stack space for the PIO and the number of state machines that we can actually run. Though I've certainly been challenged on stack space, but not really on the number of PIOs yet in my projects. In terms of GPIO, then the RP2350 in its biggest form factor can have up to 54, though in reality the Pico and Pico 2 form factors both only have 25 GPIO lines available for you. In terms of PWM, I have been challenged trying to build complex motor controllers and servo controllers. So the additional 4 slicers available on the larger RP2350 form factor would be handy. No, that isn't going to be available on Pico 2 either. I2C and SPI services, they're not changed either. So you might think there's some benefits here, but in fact most of the time there isn't a great deal to drive me to upgrade. So the headline "the Pico 2 is faster" isn't wrong, it's just missing the entire point. The real secret of the Raspberry Pi Pico 2 isn't its speed, it's what it's now capable of doing. It's got double the amount of RAM, and that's the hero here. It smashes through the wall that's held us back on so many ambitious projects, especially for anyone using MicroPython or dabbling in machine learning. For me, personally, this gives me space for frame buffers to work with large displays. You've seen me drive screens from Waveshare. They just would not be smooth or indeed even possible if I was using an RP2040. Although they are integrated screens in those examples, the same thing applies to an external screen driven from a Pico 2. Handling large web services, as I've done recently with the Smart Clock project. Some of the web services I worked with on weather and indeed YouTube data were massive. This would really be a challenge on a Pico. And then there's USB mass storage, creating a virtual file system that pops up on your desktop, and this is going to require significant buffer space, and that Pico 2's RAM makes a robust, reliable data logging via USB much more viable without crashing your main application loop. And finally, OTA, over-the-air updates, where I need room to validate the firmware before switching to it. Now that is a use case I really want to be able to do, and to do easily on a Pico 2. And that space on the Pico 2 makes this actually realizable. So that's my take after using these boards for some time. What do you think is the most exciting new feature? Is it the RAM for you, or are you in power saving or looking at some of those other raw speed capabilities? I'd love to hear what you think and what you're planning to build with it. Drop your project ideas in the comments below. I read every single one, and that's where the best ideas always come from. If you found the deep dives useful and want to see more of the tech that powers your projects, consider subscribing to the channel. And remember, I've got a playlist here of lots more Pico 2 projects.